Good morning. Today we begin to look at St. John's Gospel, and we try to look at John's special insights after a long life contemplating the life of Christ. This is days 344 to 358, and we're going to begin right at the beginning of St. John's Gospel at John chapter 1, verses 1 to 18. In the beginning, the Word existed. The Word was with God and was God. He was with God at the start. Through him all things came into being. Without him not one thing came into being. What has come into existence in him was life, and this life was the light of the whole human race. The light shines in the dark. The dark did not overwhelm it. There was a human sent from God called John. He came as a witness. He was to bear witness to the light so that through him everyone might believe. He himself wasn't the light. He was just a witness to it. The true light, which enlightens everyone, was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world was generated by him, yet the world did not recognize him. He came to his own, and his own didn't welcome him. But all who did welcome him, to them he gave the means to become children of God, those who believed in his name, born as they were, not in the normal way by genetic inheritance, human lust, or human will. God was their Father. The Word became human and literally camped among us, and we have seen his glory, the glory that is like the glory of a father's only son, full of generous love and integrity. John bore witness about Jesus and cried it out. He said, "This was the one I spoke about." From his abundance we have all received more and more of his generous love. Yes, the law was given through Moses. From Jesus Christ came generous love and integrity. No one has ever seen God. The only Son, who is close to the Father's heart, has made God known. Well now, according to ancient tradition, this old man John, at Jesus' request, had many years before his gospel was produced taken Jesus' mother Mary away from the cross where Jesus had died into his own home and looked after her. Long-lasting traditions say that John and Mary, after the fall of Jerusalem and its depopulation by the Romans at the end of the Jewish uprising, joined the diaspora and ended up settling near Ephesus, where a church bearing John's name still exists today. I've seen it. Their alleged house is also nearby and remains a place of pilgrimage. Some scholars, however, have identified the beloved disciple with others, some with Lazarus, whom Jesus raised from his tomb. But I'll stick with tradition for now and the presence in his old age of John, the son of the fisherman Zebedee, living on the outskirts of Ephesus, where it is pretty much agreed the gospel originated. Now, John's gospel is in remarkably good and sophisticated Greek, not at all what you would expect from a former fisherman from rural Galilee. I am inclined to think that it was written down by a well-educated native Greek speaker who had access to John, either as a preacher or in private conversation. And this person also took great care to organize his material for his readers in a memorable way. We even have a possible name for this person. It may well have been one Papias, who wrote early commentaries on the Gospels. And his name is attested by a number of early 2nd century writers. Now, whoever it was, if it was Papias or whoever it was, This person had a good feeling for the nature of Christ and the quality of language needed to describe him. Read these verses again in your own favourite translation and see how deeply these words go, both emotionally and philosophically, and also in the realm of faith. They are just beautiful. Today and tomorrow, we are looking at the material used to preface the Gospel. After that, we shall look at the 7 signs John or his editor had singled out as of significance. The author or his editor admitted he had been selective. You can read it in John chapter 20, verses 30 to 31, and again in the last verse of the Gospel. What he selected had been chosen from the words of an eyewitness to persuade his readers to believe and to receive life. Tomorrow, we briefly meet John the Baptist, who gives Jesus the title of the Lamb of God, and I'll see you then.